All right. Nope, it's not. Oh, wait a minute. Are we live? Hello. Is everybody out there? All right. Well, hopefully everybody's catching this. If you're in the chat, let me know. So, this is my first live cast here at Coffee with a Ghost. So, guys, welcome to Coffee with a Ghost. It's going to be our first time doing this, and I can't wait to get with it. Just going to let you know, I got my cup of coffee. Anybody out there got a cup of coffee going on? Well, if you are drinking a cup of coffee, leave it in your comments. I think I got a pretty good lag between my video and the comments right now, just to let you guys know. I'm just kind of catching up on it and seeing how this is going. It's all new software to me. I might have to switch software to check out a different one or not. Alrighty, what's this? Okay, so with getting going today about what we were gathering here to talk about with this first live cast and just jumping right into it, we're going to be talking about airsoft historical events. I'm talking about those military history events. I've been kind of hearing about them. They're far and few between. But I was kind of wondering what you guys' opinions are on this. I mean, I'm seeing everything with Vietnam events. I'm seeing World War II events that have been happening. And, I've seen a few out there now, and some of them look pretty good. Um, I like them, but I'd like to get your guys' opinion on that. So here we go. I mean, I think the first thing we got to talk about is, how accurate do you guys think these things really need to be? I've seen some guys out there that just go buku nuts on it, and they are pushing it as hard as they can. They are making it which way they want to go with it, and they're being kind of mean sometimes. But I question, is that actually something that you guys feel needs to be necessary? Like, and when I mean accuracy, I'm talking down to the type of boots that, whatever era that you're facing was wearing, or, uniform being exactly right to units and things like that. So, that's my curiosity on it. It's good to see you, Jason. Big shout out to you. Thank you for showing up today. So, what's your guys' opinion on that? Oh, like I said, last one I seen recently was a Vietnam event that had happened, and I actually found out that there's another one happening pretty soon, Operation Homecoming. That's actually going to be done by Delta Action Sports. It looks like it's going to be really neat. It's going to be a Vietnam one. So that means you got guys on both sides of the fence on this one. You're going to have Viet Cong guys, and you're going to have, Americans going at it. And how in detail should they go with this? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really have a North Vietnamese uniform sitting around. So, it was a good question. I think one of the biggest details to this has got to be where you can take it, how far you can play it with your buddies. I personally always love adding history to anything, especially when it comes to military historical. I thought one of the neatest things I did as a kid was getting to go see one of the Civil War reenactments, which, of course, is much different than anything we're getting into with airsoft. But hey, who knows? Maybe that could be a future type of event. I mean, I think a muzzle loader, airsoft rifle would be kind of neat. Who knows? Maybe I'd heard from somebody recently and said they would love to see an old school Gatling gun made into an airsoft rifle. That'd be kind of cool. The uniforms would be pretty easy, I would think, to get a hold of. There seems to be a lot of Civil War era reenactment uniforms going around. I think that'd be kind of neat. In your comments, put your thoughts out there and what you guys think of that. And once again, I'd be neglect to not mention, guys, check out, my page, hit the like and share button, and, I'd appreciate it, and the follow button. But back to this, I found out also Milsom West is going to be holding a World War II event over in Templeton, Pennsylvania, on August 30th, basically starting now, up to September 1st. Now, this catches me and has caught my interest a lot because of the fact that that's going to be a multi day event. Now, see, that to me sounds like if we're really going to get into this historical area of airsoft, let's make it multi day. Let's bring out, the tents. Let's bring out the cots. Let's really immerse ourselves into this idea of being in that era and playing like that. I think that is going to be something that's really neat to see. And I think it'd be enjoyable. I mean, but how far do we take it? Do we set up squads? Do we go with actual units? I mean, that's kind of a tricky question right there because how do you pick who one person's going to be a sergeant and one person's a private? Do you base it off of experience or do you make them have formed teams before they go? That's an interesting thing. And I like how Milsom West is doing it with how they've made it a multi-day event and you can sign up for certain positions. They have lots of regular positions you can go for. But, there's a lot to that too. And I think that's something that could be maybe a little bit more expensive for your average airsoft player out there. I know when I came into the sport, I was a noob. I had no idea what the cost of airsoft can get. And let's just say my hobby, it can be a tad bit expensive. And I was very lucky. Big shout out to a guy named Cutter out there who helped me lead my way through it and also hooked me up with some gear in the beginning. But when you go from that to, say, playing military, I believe that could be a very big expense in the long run. That could be a lot to say basic cost. Uniforms, helmets, period accurate weapons, even gear to, say, be out there for a long period of time, like the tents. I mean, I haven't really looked into a lot of historical uniforms, but I don't imagine they're the cheapest compared to, say, walking in and buying a set of ACUs. That's going to be a lot easier of a route, but maybe this is a way to keep history alive. Maybe this is a neat way to keep, the younger generation into military events. I think the importance of the whole thing is, of course, that you have fun. And I don't know. I think it's kind of sounds neat. I'd be interested to, dress my counterpart back in World War II. I guess that'd be what 101st Airborne Easy Company, or 82nd Airborne, or who knows, a Ranger from back in the day. D-Day Ranger, looking at climbing the cliffs. I mean, oh man, to dress like that and to immerse myself in their weaponry. We're talking, they carried in lots of cool stuff, man. I mean, Thompson machine guns, Raymond Garands, but hey, even look at some of the German weaponry I would love to kind of see get made into it. Like Hitler's buzzsaw, that light machine gun, man, that thing just terrified the Allied troops. You hear stories about that thing to this day. So, I think that's something kind of cool and something to think about. Not getting a lot of comments on the other side here. I don't know if that has to do with the software at the moment, or it's just my first view live and not a lot of people have jumped in. I'll have to check it after this just in case there was a issue with anything going on. But even if you're catching this later, please come back in. Leave in the comments what you think of History Millicent events. I think, my opinion, I like them. I would love to try one out. But there's, like I said, a lot of questions to it. Where should they be held? That's another one. I mean, I guess you could do one out in the desert and kind of portray it as North Africa. We did have a lot of conflict in the African area during World War II before they invaded Italy and headed into, Normandy and the other parts of Europe and heading towards France and, of course, to Germany. I think the event that, they're holding up in Vermont with Delta Action Sports, that's Operation Homecoming, the Liberation. That's a Vietnam one. That's interesting to me. How's that terrain really going to play out when you're trying to play something that's, Southeast Asia? Let's be honest, a very swampy, rice field, jungle-ish area, from my understanding, a lot of Vietnam. Now, of course, myself, that was before me ever being in the service, and can't say I have a lot of experience in Vietnam, but I have been in Southeast Asia, and I really kind of question how much of Vermont is going to look like Southeast Asia. So I question that. So I mean, but who knows? Could be a real cool event. I'm looking forward to seeing the videos of it. And that's a question though. Should the events kind of be held in an area that resembles what they're trying to immerse you in? We have let's see, World War II events. I mean, man, we got some amazing places here in North America that we could be holding events for that. You know, Interesting enough, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Let me correct myself before somebody jumps into the comments. I believe it's now Fort Liberty. I have to check. It's been changing so often. These base changing things. We're not going to even get into the name change thing. I've been asked my opinion on that a couple times. I'm not even going to go there. All I got to say is it's not important what the name of the base is. What's important is the personnel on the base. Let's just go with that. So anyways, Fort Bragg during World War II was used a lot for training of the troops to go up because of the forest resembling Europe and the areas that they would encounter. I think that's a great idea. Florida, as an example, from my understanding, even right near where I'm at in Tampa Bay, right outside St. John's Pass, and going up towards the city of Dunedin and Clearwater and heading up towards Tarpon Springs, they used to do a lot of training for the Army to Pacific Theater, beach landings, things like that. I think that would be a neat idea. I'd love to play a Pacific game, coming off of a beach, running up onto an area, and you have one team maybe defending that island or that territory and have an all-day game. That would be kind of neat. But there'd be so many different ways to go about it. So, I mean, that is definitely, another one to, please respond in the comments. How do you guys feel about where they hold these events? The other thing is let's talk about it from the airsoft ranges perspective. Let's not forget that these guys are always part of our community. They're a huge, huge deal. Now, I question if all ranges are capable, or if there's a lot of them out there capable of holding events that could be historically accurate, with actual bunker systems, trench lines, the forestry, or if you're doing a Pacific event, beach areas or sandy areas. That could be all a lot of things to kind of get into right there and to deal with, and maybe costly on the players. I mean, that's another thing I keep hearing about with these events is some people complain about the cost of the events. Well, I have to tell you, I personally have paid some pretty pennies to play some airsoft here and there, and my local field's not an expensive field, depending on the event that's going on. Black Tiger, go Black Tiger Airsoft. But I have to say that if I was looking at something that was going to be a multi-day event, I'm probably much more likely to spend a lot more money, especially if it's going to be really immersive. Now, I will give Liberty Canyon, I'm hearing a little bit about that company. Supposedly, they're really into it. And of course, we can't neglect talking about Milsom West. Now, Milsom West, if you aren't familiar with them as a airsoft company, they are one of the, in my opinions, one of the best at putting on events. They've been around for quite some time. They really seem to do their best to almost, I'd have to say, like movie set quality sometimes with their events. If Milsom West, like they are, right now as we speak, is holding a World War II event, if anybody out there catches my page and has some information on that event and wants to send some photos or something like that, I would love to see them. I will put them on the next episode with ShadowGhost. I would love to hear from you. If you're out there playing these historical events, please hit me up in the messenger or on Discord. I have a link to that on my page. let me know. I would love to talk to you about what's going on out there with these events, because me, I've not gotten to play one of those yet. So, let me know what you guys think about it. All right, that's about what I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed our first live cast and had a great cup of Joe. Of course, I had mine sitting here this whole time. Very good stuff. I hope you guys had a enjoyable time sitting here listening to the ghost, and I can't wait to see you next time. As I say, get your ghost on.